So, did you watch the Supreme Court Justice nomination hearings yesterday? Of course, Joe Biden nominated Ketanji Brown Jackson, I think I got her name right, to the nation's highest court, and the nomination hearings are underway. And if you watched them a little bit yesterday, you could have come away with a different ideas about who she is and what kind of a judge she has been and what kind of a Supreme Court judge she will be based on, I guess, which side of the aisle you sit on. One interrogation in particular really has stuck with me since watching On and Off yesterday, and that's the questioning by Josh Hawley. The one thing that keeps coming to mind thinking about the whole spectacle, I think is a good word for it, is theater. So much of our political environment and our politics, from our talking head pundits to even our news channels to especially our politicians, and I think especially on one side of the aisle, have gotten really, really good at political theater, is what I'm going to call it. Theater is really about dramatization of events, whether it's a true story or whether it's a work of fiction. Theater is about entertainment, right? It's not about truth. It's about art. It's not about fact. It's not a documentary. It's about eliciting emotion. It's really kind of what art and theater have been about throughout history. It's about eliciting emotion. It seems that the right wing has gotten really, really good at mastering the art of theater. You see it on, I just talked about Tucker Carlson the other day, that stare and asking provocative questions without answers. Why do Democrats keep doing that? He's mastered theater. So is Rachel Maddow, I think, to a certain extent. I'm not going to leave one major news network or mainstream news network out of it. I think in a way, Rachel Maddow is also a little theatrical. Of course, I believe, and I've done the research to back it up, Rachel Maddow is largely based on fact. She is a journalist. She went to college for journalism. She has a whole team. She fact checks. But there is still an element of theater there, right? So we are a society addicted to outrage. We are actually a society kind of addicted to emotional jolts of emotion. Outrage at whatever you're seeing. I'm guilty of it too, man. I spend too much time on Twitter and I'm addicted to that adrenaline rush of outrage, or whether it's fear. I will say though, I don't know, and maybe I am being very lopsided on this, and I'm going to own that. I feel like most of that, much of it, or at least the one side of the aisle, is much better at that production of theater and garnering that or eliciting that strong reaction in their viewers and their voters and their base. And I think that is the right wing. Again, you look at right-wing talk radio, and I joke about this on Twitter sometimes. I travel across the country in my RV. I don't have satellite radio or anything like that, so oftentimes I'm flipping through the channels. I can always tell a conservative talk radio within seconds. It's either a word, a very inflammatory, accusatory, name-calling, shaming word, or it's a tone. So we are addicted to drama. We are addicted to theater. We are so addicted to theater that our news has become so sensationalized that many of us don't know the difference between entertainment and news. So what does all this have to do with the nomination hearings yesterday and Josh Hawley? Josh Hawley chose to focus his line of questioning on Judge Brown Jackson's record of sentencing child porn offenders. And what I found striking as I watched this, of course, it's you want to know whether a judge who's going to sit on the Supreme Court for life has good judgment. You definitely want to know that. That's for sure. But I didn't feel that was the questioning the purpose of the questioning. I didn't feel that that he was acting in good faith to make sure she's going to be a sound Supreme Court justice who makes good decisions. And here's why. He kept drilling on graphic details of her cases. I can't tell you how many times he said gobs and gobs of pornography. And do you really think that you should be apologizing to child pornographers? And I mean, his language was inflammatory. He went too much into detail when he didn't need to. He kept belaboring the same points over and over and over again in accusatory tones. It was insulting to me. It was insulting to me that this man would be accusing a woman and a mother of not caring enough about putting child pornographers behind bars. It was insulting. So why would he do it? Republicans know she's going to get confirmed because we have the majority. They know it. So why choose this line of questioning? Why say over and over and over again, there were 17 videos. He had 17 videos and you only gave him 3 months. He detailed in graphic details that the first time, honestly, of listening to it, I had to fast forward it because of my own trigger warnings, and I wanted to listen to it again this morning to prepare for this video, so I listened. He didn't get as graphic as I thought he did, but he got too graphic. He literally went down the line and said, 8-year-old girl, this, 9-year-old boy, this, sexual act. But he said rape. He said sadomasochism. He said very inflammatory, dramatic words that he did not need to say. So why did he? Theater. It's all theater. And who was he speaking to? Who was his audience for this theater? The first thing that came to my mind is QAnon. There's one group in this country right now who thinks that there is a deep state that is involved in child trafficking and child pornography. There was no reason for him to use such inflammatory, accusatory tones. There was no reason for him to belabor graphic details of child pornography. We all know what child pornography is. He did not need to go into such detail and to keep belaboring the same points over and over and over again. But he knew he had a camera on him. He knew he had an audience. It's theater. And what, though, this is my concern, what is the outcome from these theatrics? What is he doing? He might think that he's speaking to a base, that he's getting voters. I think he's smarter than that. He's delegitimizing the court by saying that the Honorable Judge Brown Jackson is soft on pedophiles. He's speaking to his audience who love the drama, love to be outraged, and telling them this is the woman who is going to be on the Supreme Court, therefore it is not a legitimate court. It's further delegitimizing our institutions and our democracy. Josh Hawley is this guy who walked through the crowd on January 6th, giving them his fist of approval. And then yesterday, this show of theatrics, this show of theater, of belaboring points about child pornography, using the victims of child pornography to further his goal of being a great actor, of being giving a great performance to his QAnon base. Something to think about. I'll see you next time.